You've spent the best part of 2 years building up your political capital. How have you managed to damage brand Rudd so comprehensively in such a short time this year?
Labor's bloody, bizarre leadership battle.
Months of paralysis and chaos under Mr Rudd's leadership.
I was not elected by the factional leaders of Australia, of the Australian Labor Party, to do a job, though they may be seeking to do a job on me. It's a separate matter.
Certainly, I did speak to the then Deputy Prime Minister, now our Prime Minister, and say that she should think about this.
Are we setting ourselves up as some sort of junta?
Kevin Rudd had contempt for the Cabinet, contempt for the Cabinet members, contempt for the caucus, contempt for the Parliament.
Is that the kind of Australia that you want?
I understand that the Prime Minister's addressed this in a press conference in Turkey in the last few hours. I haven't seen what she said, but let me say I support what it is that she said.
This is becoming hopeless.
Julia,
hello Mark, how are you?
Can I just ask you why the Labor Party's made a complaint about you working for Channel 9?
Well, the 2010 election was sabotaged.
Now, it might be easy for you to sit and 7:30 report land and say that was easy to do. Let me tell you, mate, it wasn't.
Hang on, you haven't seen what she said?
But I support what my Prime Minister said, so...
Well, what's your view?
Well, my view is what the Prime Minister's view is.
Surely you must have your own view on this, Bill Shorten.
Prime Minister, no mention today or tonight, as a matter of fact, about the carbon tax. Have you decided that's going to cost you votes? Is that why it's on the shelf?
There will be no carbon tax under the government I lead.
No, when you ask if I got my view on this, that's such a general question, it invites me to go to lots of places.
Well, it's a specific question as to whether Peter Slipper should return as Speaker of your Parliament while he's facing civil claims of sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment's an incredibly serious matter.
Oh dear, there's this thing called sexism. Oh my lord, there's this thing called misogyny. Now who's one of them?
And perhaps look for a small female Asian doctor is probably the best way to go there.
Bill Shorten is at the centre of a bun fight, accused of swearing at a Carlton shop owner.
She says the Labor MP is lying and definitely did swear inside the store.
Yeah, standing here, we say F-word.
And Julia Gillard is still backing her man.
The Craig Thompson affair, now dragging on so long, even he thinks it's a joke.
I don't have anything before me which would cause me to alter from my previous statements of confidence in Mr Thompson.
Well, the union scandal embroiling the Prime Minister is not going away.
His sister has said he's a crook and rotten to the core. His word against mine, make your mind up.
Do you know that Mr Obeid and Mr Ian McDonald are still members of the Australian Labor Party?
I continue to support our Prime Minister, full stop.
This is the mood in Whyalla.
No Whyalla wipe out there on my TV. No Whyalla wipe out there on my TV. No Whyalla.
How can anyone do this? You know what I mean? It's just...
Shocking me right out of my brain. Shocking me right out of my brain.
If you don't get the budget back into surplus in 3 years, what happens? Do you sack the Treasurer? Do you take personal responsibility?
It's happening, David. That failure is not an option.
If it doesn't, any guarantee?
Failure is not an option here and we won't fail.
This budget delivers a surplus this coming year, on time, as promised.
He'll actually deliver a deficit instead, expected to exceed $10 billion.
And are you still going to go to the election with this Prime Minister?
Hang on, Koshy, I brought the manual with me. I'll see what it says. It says I should say polls come and go, but the only poll that matters is on election day.
As Prime Minister, at the time, my view, it remains my view, is that as Prime Minister you accept responsibility for the good and for the bad, for anything that a government does during the period over which I am its Prime Minister. And for those reasons, as I've said repeatedly before, I have accepted ultimate responsibility for what was not just bad, but in this case, a deep tragedy.
G'day, it's Tony. Today I'm out in Kununurra with a bloke you know called Kevin. And the stories that were around of the chaos, of the temperament, of the inability to have decisions made, they are not stories.
Can I just respond to this? It wasn't Kay Rudd who made a pre-election commitment on a carbon tax. It wasn't Kay Rudd who made a particular commitment to Mr Wilkie on the question of poker machines. It wasn't Kay Rudd who had anything to do with the East Timor solution or the Malaysia solution.
I continue to support our Prime Minister.
Will you
full
guarantee
stop.
that support until the next election?
I will continue to support our Prime Minister, yes.
You will continue to support
Neil, you want to talk
No, you haven't given me the
Sorry,
guarantee.
I continue to support our Prime Minister, yes.
Will you guarantee?
Black and white, yes, I continue to support our Prime Minister. And Neil,
Do you
at
guarantee
some
that
point,
until the next
well, Neil,
election?
I've answered your question.
No, you haven't, with respect.
Sorry. I am a great admirer of our Prime Minister, Julia Gillard. I have supported her loyally for 3 years. I believe she's accomplished remarkable things. The future of this nation and the Labor Party is at stake here.
Yesterday you sent out a picture of yourself with a Norman Gunston-style shaving cut.
Therefore, I shall be supporting Kevin Rudd tonight.
This is Labor! OK, well, you played a key role in the removal of Kevin Rudd as Prime Minister. Now you've played a role in the removal of Julia Gillard as Prime Minister. Are you a traitor?
It's perfectly Shakespearean. They wanted my job, and those who weren't going to get my job wanted elevation.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Today I'm announcing that I shall be putting my name forward to be the leader of the Australian Labor Party.